Deadpool and Wolverine. This is a spoiler review. I really just want to, go into specifics as to really what I didn't talk about on the regular review video. First, start off right off the bat with the opening of the movie. One of those funny things that I loved about this movie. Deadpool is trying to dig up Logan's grave in the movie Logan, partner up with him. And of course, you see this dance montage with Deadpool. He's killing a lot of TVA agents. Fun fact, actually, I went to see this movie in 3D. Not really the biggest fan when it comes to 3D. I'll be quite honest with you. It wasn't really a bad experience. Would not really, go out of my way to really still watch, movies in 3D. This one is actually pretty cool because in Deadpool, in that very opening, when he's killing all the TVA agents, same time dancing, you got body parts and you have blood just going towards you. Imagine, right? Like, that itself, can't lie, that's kind of cool, I'm assuming that maybe not a lot of people watch the movie in 3D. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about it, but that's just something I really wanted to mention. This is Deadpool's introduction to the MCU. So we get all sorts of scenes where, Deadpool he visits all these different timelines. He goes to these alternate dimensions. He goes to the 616 universe, obviously the main Marvel continuity, talking to Happy Hogan. He wanted to recruit Wade Wilson into the Avengers because, Wade is kind of giving this little sob story, this, his origin tale. I would have never imagined seeing that type of interaction with Happy Hogan and Wade Wilson, Deadpool. Fast forwarding to Deadpool and Wolverine in the Void is very reminiscent to a Mad Max Fury Road type of, environment. Basically, they have to survive. You have heroes, you have villains from all these different franchises. Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. You know what? That was really, really surprising because honestly, I would have not even imagined it's going to be like a multiverse type of movie. You're thinking that he's going to say, Avengers assemble. And no, he actually ends up saying flame on, and he just flies up in the air as the Human Torch. And then you have the villain Pyro from the X-Men movies. He's a mutant who controls fire, So that was actually pretty exciting to see, but at the same time a little disappointing. Johnny Storm just falls flat on his face. Well, first he actually ends up landing on a really painful spot in his body, and then he ends up falling straight down to the ground face first. And it was funny, don't get me wrong, it was funny, but I was just like, man, I want to see more. This is Johnny Storm, this is freaking the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. So, that's something that honestly I really would have liked to have seen a little bit more, but not complaining all that much because it was still pretty, it was a cool moment. So, but then, of course, you're right, the villains, they arrive, and then you have, a bunch of other cameos. You have Sabretooth. I don't remember his name, but this is Nightcrawler's father. He's red. He was an X-Men First Class. That's all I remember. To see all these villains. They're in this, battle van vehicle. Cameos, I really was impressed by it because I thought it was so cool. It was so well done. Jennifer Gardner as Elektra. You have Wesley Snipes as Blade, Channing Tatum as Gambit, and you got X-23. I don't remember the actress's name, but Deadpool ends up forming a little Avengers team / X-Men team. Highlight when it comes to the cameos was Channing Tatum. Man, that guy was funny. That dude was insanely hilarious. His performance as Gambit, his accent. Gambit, really, I would love to see that character come back. I would like to see Channing Tatum come back. I feel about Cassandra Nova. She is the villain of the movie, right? The main villain of the film. And I don't know. She's Charles Xavier's twin sister. And that's cool, right? That's I don't really have much to say on her part. She was kind of intimidating. But something I did wanted to mention was the references to other heroes that apparently they died. They were in the void, and then they got killed by Cassandra Nova. So the superheroes that were mentioned were Daredevil. So I'm assuming Ben Affleck's Daredevil, played by Jennifer Gardner, mentioned that Daredevil he got killed by Cassandra Nova. And then when they were in the car, when Wesley Snipes' Blade had the rocket launcher, Deadpool asked Elektra, "Who does this baby belong to?" And she was saying that this belonged to Punisher. But the question is actually which Punisher? And it would have to be either Ray Stevenson or Thomas Jane. I would have loved to have seen Thomas Jane's Punisher in this movie, because it's like, I'm just saying, like, man, like the Punisher, he died. And then you have also Ben Affleck's Daredevil, who also died. At the end of the day, I thought the cameos were done so well, really, because I've never been this excited for cameos. Because we've gotten, Marvel and DC movies where there's always been references, cameos, crossovers, and I've never been this excited to seeing, like, Marvel legacy characters and actors that have played these characters, 20 years ago. As a matter of fact, how can I even forget even Magneto, right? But the question is also, like, which Magneto? Even though I understand that, at the end of the day, it's still the same, because this, the only difference is that one is older and the other one is younger, and it's still the same Magneto. He also died as well. And there was that was really one of the funny scenes. Not Magneto dying, but the scene where Deadpool, he's actually telling the team should have Magneto's helmet. And then Blade immediately shuts that down by saying he's dead, And yeah, and also Wesley Snipes' dialogue scene this is everything about this movie. I know I keep saying, like, it's funny, but like, I really do mean that. The movie's insanely hilarious, in terms of also the dialogue with other characters, the cameos, and just the way how these characters interact with each other. One scene with Deadpool, he's trying to motivate the team. He's telling them that I understand that we all feel unsure of ourselves. And Elektra's like, "You get that feeling? I don't," and then he's like, "I don't." How can I forget one of the most iconic scenes in Marvel movies from now on? Hugh Jackman's Wolverine wears the mask for the first time. And yeah, goosebumps, all those good feelings, right? All those feelings of, damn, like, I'm seeing this. This guy's wearing the costume for the very first time in 20 plus years. Yeah, that happens in the movie. I know that's a no-brainer, because there's merchandise, there's there's popcorn buckets, there's all the other stuff, right? All the other merchandise that you see. You get to see Wolverine. He's wearing the mask, right? And you're just assuming that he's gonna wear the mask in the movie. So, but still, I think it was a brilliant scene. I loved it. I got the goosebumps. One of the best moments of that film. End it all off, guys. I'm hoping that a lot of these characters do end up returning in Secret Wars, and then most likely we will never see these actors playing these characters ever again. Jackman Wolverine, I'm hoping that he will show up in Avengers Secret Wars alongside with Deadpool. I'd love to see my man Gambit come back. Yes, everything all the memes, all the reels, all the stuff that you've been seeing on social media, his dialogue scenes. Yes, I want to see that come back. I want to see that actor play Gambit once again. And maybe it's far-fetched, I don't know, but that being the main Gambit for Channing Tatum, I really wouldn't mind that at all. The guy was hilarious, and his fight scenes knocked it out of the park, honestly. That guy, Channing Tatum, man, you should have gotten that movie. Even though we don't know if the movie would have been even good or not. That was my spoiler talk on Deadpool and Wolverine. What was your favorite scene of the movie, and which Punisher you thought that they were referring to in that scene? Was it Thomas Jane? Was it Ray Stevenson? Just post your comments down below. And as always, guys, take care.